breathes a fresh air of courage into black men who are terrified by retribution from the untouchables community.
Right.
Okay, so I don't want to put that out there, but I'm very disappointed in so many personalities in entertainment and so many moguls who decided to side with the white power structure against Kanye, Puffy. So many other ones came out against him, D.L. Hughley, and so many other ones who tried to deride him and dismiss him to protect their job and their relationship with the very same people who are exploiting Kanye. It was just sick to see that because it speaks to how weak black men can be, especially when our paychecks are involved.
Yeah, like, isn't it a sign like everybody that was associated, they were so scared that if you have that much fear in you, that should let you know who the people that you're dealing with.
But they know he's telling the truth. Everybody know Kanye's telling the truth. He could have been more articulate with it.
Yeah.
He could have been more pointed and political with what he said. But at the end of the day, we get the gist of it. He ain't the first to tell us, and everybody knows the story, but he's the first one to publicly and openly, in his prime, take on the untouchables. Even though Michael Jackson exposed him, he was no longer in his prime. He was well past it.
Right.
Kanye is in his prime and he's doing it. That's why I salute him. But I think, though, that he is still too much in love with white society to really turn this thing around 360. He could very well be what Tupac was headed to become.
Wow.
At the time Tupac was taken from us, he was the most popular and successful hip-hop artist. And the power structure feared him because he had the ear of the people.
Right.
Kanye probably has more ears than Pac because Kanye got black and white. He's almost like the Martin Luther King of hip hop. You follow me?
Right.
And just like Martin Luther King, Kanye could lead a social revolution if he wanted to. But I'm going to be honest with you. I really think Kanye is just worried about Kanye. At the end of this whole thing, I don't see no social revolution coming, and definitely not for black folks. I still think he's too in love with Kim Kardashian. He's too in love with white folks to really be of benefit to blacks. When I look at our billionaires, I'm disappointed. It's not their job to save black America. Black America has to save itself, but they should be doing something to help us along that path. I don't know of anything Oprah's doing of significance for black America. I don't know anything Tyler Perry's doing of significance to black America. I don't know anything that Jay-Z or Bob Johnson or Puffy or Kanye is doing to benefit black America.
Jay-Z has been involved when freeing some people.
Oh, absolutely. Jay-Z has done some very commendable things, and I applaud him and Beyonce because they're at the top of the food chain. And at the top of the food chain, they have been the most active in social causes. But they're still not doing anything that is critical enough to advance us as a people, like build an institution. I mean, you guys are billionaires. You know how quickly they could build an independent black community?
Right.
You know how quickly they could have a hospital, a school, a bank, and a supermarket up? Are you kidding me? You follow what I'm saying? And they're not doing that. And that's my issue with the black billionaires. So when it's all said and done, I think Kanye going to go right back to a special world with white folks. I think this was all done to provide him with some public shelter during the storm to make it look like I am the spokesman of the people when I'm really just looking out for my own best interest at the end of the day.
How do you feel about his school situation?
The Donda?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, but it's not an African-centered academy that's helping our children.
Right.
It's in Simi Valley. How many black people you know live in Simi Valley? Okay. It's a performing arts academy for privileged middle and upper class children.
And
it's not doing
us.
nothing about school to prison pipeline at all. You know?
Speaking of school to prison pipeline, it's not till you get older, or if you even been to jail and then you've been to school, it's like you can see like the many similarities like in that. I remember in I think in first grade, as we walked through the hallways, we had to put our hands in our backs like this, like we're in handcuffs. And I remember they call it put your eagles in his nest. And they'll be like, put your eagles in your nest, and everybody will put their hands like that, and we will walk.
What school did you go to?
South North.
Many schools, no, they do that in many schools, even
What?
today.
Yeah.
You walk like you're in jail because the assumption is you're going to be a criminal. The assumption is if I don't make you put your hands behind your back, you're going to do something to disrupt the order of this institution. They treat us like the only difference between a prison and a school is the prison has beds in it. But both the public school and the prison have the same priority, and that's controlling the behaviors of black males. I want to be absolutely clear. The school to prison pipeline is not an accident, it is a design. It was engineered to fail black males through miseducation, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, psychological frustration, and premature extermination. They're destroying the lives of at least 1 out of every 4 black males. Special education is a fraud, a scam, and a trick. Half the black boys in special ed in America don't have reading problems, don't have math problems, don't have learning problems. They're there because the white female classroom teachers who don't want to be bothered with black students are sending them in there to reduce their class size.
I really got to talk about that.
Go right ahead.
Sorry to cut you off.
Right
I got to talk about that.
Were you special ed?
Yes, I was.
What disability? Was it learning? Was it emotional? Was it ADHD? Intellectual?
I don't even remember because they didn't even put it, like, basically what happened was I got left back, right? And they were like, well, we could put you in these special classes. It'll put you right on track, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. And as I got older, I'm like, man, like, I'm in these classes. They have 2 teachers. Like, and when I was in high school, I got taken out of school by my dad. And then when I got back in, I had like 5 classes, 4 reading classes. I had to do like 4 papers. And bro, I couldn't spell. But like this day, I have a job. You know what I mean? Like, I send emails every day. Like, I have to do a lot of math and shit like that. And it's just like, I always think about that shit, like, going back, and it's like, damn, bro, there wasn't nothing wrong with me. There just wasn't the right people there to guide me. And it's just the most mind-blowing thing, because it's just like, and I didn't even go to college. I didn't do anything. I went from high school. I figured out that I wanted to do something specific, and I was like, I'm not going to let nobody tell me I can't do it. I can do it because that's just is what it is. And I'm doing it, and it's just like, bro, like, special ed it doesn't make sense. It's like, take the time with these kids and help them learn and do what they need to do, but it's just like, don't make these people feel like these kids feel less than the other kids because they need a little bit more time or whatever you're trying to tell them. You know what I mean? It's just like, bro, I don't know. I was in special ed and
the purpose of special education is to guarantee fresh bodies for the mass incarceration system.
Damn.
Special ed exists to keep prisons occupied.
Damn.
If you don't believe me, go to any prison in America and ask the men in jail how many of you were special education students, and 80% of the hands are going to go up. Special ed is there to condition and prepare black boys for a life of crime.
Wow, I never thought about that.
That is the purpose of it. And our mothers, who do a great job, and I love our single mothers, 70% of our kids are being raised by them. I need y'all to do a better job. Stop signing everything the school wants you to sign.
Facts.
Stop going along with special ed. Stop going along with ADHD.